Hey everyone, just wanted to let y'all know that my physical copy of my graphic novel is now available to purchase on Amazon. There's also the ebook form, but it's finally done. I'm excited. Finally got the physical copy ready to go. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave the links down in the descriptions, alright? Other than that, I hope you enjoy the video. Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It is Wicked here, and I'm just working on another comic book. No, this is not my graphic novel. I'm working on this for somebody else. So I was just going to talk through the process and just kind of take you through the steps that I'm doing. So right now I'm just kind of doing a basic color flat on the image, just kind of putting down everyone's skin tone first, and then going through and putting in the hair color and clothes and stuff like that. So I'm just using basic color flats right now. So I just have a simple layer underneath my lines and inking lines, and I just create a new layer underneath that. Just call it color. It just helps me keep track of things that way. So I just kind of go through. If you notice, I kind of like when I do like the eyes or areas where things need to be white because the background is white, I just go ahead and color in with whatever color I'm using at the time, and then I just kind of select with the color picker by pressing the Alt key and just color in the eyes. Everything else I just kind of hand paint in. If it's an area that I can just encompass, I'll use a selection tool, but for the most part, I actually enjoy the process of just kind of painting in. But you can see I was kind of testing out colors and what looked best. And just decided to put those in. I'm very careful to make sure that I don't go outside the lines. That's another reason I don't really like using the magic wand because it can kind of extend it out further past the line and you have to go in and clean all that up. Um, but yeah, it's just I actually enjoy the process of just kind of filling in the color. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep certain things the same, like with the culture, with wearing a specific type of shoes, so I kept those colors the same. Other than that, in this particular scene, they're just some warlord raiders, are chasing after this family. But they are. It leads into a different scene that's later, but I won't kind of spoil any of that for the person that I'm, making the comic for. Um, but yeah, I just kind of go in and decide different things that we talked about, and then I just kind of, decided, what colors look like they worked best, especially based off of my life experience, certain places I've been around the world, and the way certain colored clothes were and worn, um, and things that I experienced in the military too, with just things that people would wear and stuff like that. Trying to keep it true. I kind of decided to base their weapon design more off of like RM4s, what we have in our military, because those are things that obviously can be bought and gotten on the black market by people who are, the warlords or who's attacking these people. So now I've just created a new layer on the background lines. As you can see, those have come in. Certain areas, like, where it's a close up, it's not necessarily to necessarily have a background to it. So I just kind of leave those blanks, and then I just lay in the color flats on a third layer. So the big background that's covering the whole page, I have an extra layer for that too. So each one I've put the color layer under the line, um, and then I just kind of go in and clean up the line work that's going through those that shouldn't be showing through. Um, the next step is obviously kind of going around, and I was kind of seeing what needed to be filled in, any spots that I missed. And then I just create a new layer above the color layer. I set it to about 60% and just call it shadow. And I just use a regular brush and just kind of paint in the shadows on the characters themselves or anything in the background. I think I started with it at like 70, but it was looking a little too dark. So I decided to adjust it to 60% just so it didn't blend in too much, especially with the female wearing a black outfit. And for the most part, this is kind of like cell shading in a way. So it's more of like a cartoon style look. And then just kind of knowing where to place shadows and stuff and what looks good is how I kind of plan all that stuff out. I could easily just kind of like do like a massive overlay and just expose the light, but for this particular style that um, the customer wanted for this piece, it was kind of more like this. So I kind of don't over detail the shadow work in there as far as making it huge and spread across the entire thing. So I kind of keep it close to the edge and things like that, much like I said, like you would see in a cartoon or something like that. So once you get that stuff down and you build all that in, you would obviously need to switch then to the background layer and the same process. And the reason why I separate everything is because if I have these shadows here and then I go in and try to add the background layer stuff on there, and there's something I don't like and I have to erase, I could run the risk of accidentally erasing over something that was good, or it ends up blending in and making it even darker than what it's supposed to be. Um, so it's just real generic for the weapons, especially just kind of overlaying. But you just want to make sure you keep all that stuff separate so you don't have to run the risk of losing time and going back and doing it all over again. It's just on a separate layer that if you don't like the way it looks, you can simply erase without messing up any of the other things that you've already put on there. So, and if you just set it to black, it'll give you that basic color. Now, if you wanted to do something where, depending on the scene, like if it was super dark and they were in like a lit room with um, like neon lights or something like that, you could change the color of the shadow that you're using and still have it on an overlay. You could also, if you wanted to go super detailed with things, which is not what was really requested on this, you can kind of do bounce light shadows too. So you can have multiple uh, light shadow sources and then going over. Now, in this particular style, there's not too many highlights unless there's something metallic that's going on. That's usually the only time in this particular style that I go in. So like on the weapons, you'll see that I'll make a highlight layer for them just to kind of make it stand out and give it more shape and form. But for the most part, I just do the shadows only, and it just gives it more of a unique style. And it's not like it really honestly just for the person that I'm doing it for and for myself, they want cranking these out in a decent amount of time. It helps save time too to not go in and super detail everything, but it has enough detail to it that it satisfies the customers that have liked the other comic stuff that I've worked on. So right now I'm just kind of putting in ground shadows for where their feet would be running, but I have that on a separate layer on the background layer. So again, if I didn't like that, I wouldn't accidentally erase or draw over the shoes or anything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just, like I said, those methods and things that I use help save a lot of time, and in case I mess anything up. If you're new to the channel and you like what you saw and you enjoy watching these little time lapses, or you want to maybe see a full length video, let me know down in the comments. Comments help me guide this channel to what you want to see, and that's for you. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember to keep on sketching. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one, alright? Bye.